I've been talking to you for a while now, and I even did a couple of interviews about the sort of signaling that Donald Trump has done to white nationalists and white supremacists with the things that he says and the policies that he proposes. And I've made the point before, and even white nationalists have made the point before on this program, that when Trump stops sort of short of what would be a much more obvious identification with white nationalism or white supremacy or sort of established xenophobia, if Donald Trump's statements have the effect of coalescing those groups, if those extremists see Trump as the best path, the most likely path to getting the world that they want, it kind of doesn't matter whether Trump is personally a white supremacist or a white nationalist or anti-Semitic or racist or xenophobic or whatever, because the impact on those groups and on policy still remains if that's how he's perceived by those individuals. And Richard Spencer, one of the most well-known white nationalists, I think at this point I would say in the world, was on the program, and he said, we get Trump can't say all of the things. We are choosing to ignore that Trump's daughter converted to Judaism and Trump's son-in-law is Jewish. We understand the signals he sends, and we see him as our best path forward. And along those lines, there's a really interesting report in the New York Daily News who spoke to a former white nationalist named Derek Black, who's actually the son of, I think it's Don Black, I forget the name, of another very well-known white nationalist. And Derek Black explained, it's not just Trump's rhetoric that signals white nationalists and his language, but his policies also signal white nationalists. And first thing, I'm going to play a little clip for you here. Derek Black was asked about Trump not condemning neo-Nazis at the Charlottesville March, and he explained how a white nationalist would read Trump's statements. Take a look.
Would you say also kind of his unwillingness to condemn like the attacks in Charlottesville, and he said, you know, there was bad people on both sides, and even recently he referred to himself as a nationalist. You know, what, do you think instances like that? Has there been any one event that really kind of made you go, whoa?
The fact that he wasn't willing to condemn Charlottesville absolutely shocked me, because up till that point I had thought there's a lot of overlap in the things that he believes and the things that white nationalists believe, and that was shocking. But it could at least feel like if he had the opportunity to condemn white nationalists that he always would, and he didn't do that, and that was very alarming. The fact that he could look at an outright white nationalist event with Nazi flags and say that there are some of those people are really good and what they're marching for is itself good, that was just absolutely mind-boggling.
And then you get into the material where Derek Black goes on to say during the interview that when you look at the package of policies that this administration has supported or proposed or sort of shown an interest in, it's a very clear signal to white nationalists. Limiting immigration from, we can say it now, shithole countries, and increasing immigration from Norway, or moving immigration from those countries to Norway, that's a very clear policy signal. Shutting down all Muslim immigration. Earlier this week, talking about birthright citizenship at a time when you've got a lot of the media attention on immigrants coming from Latin American countries where people are disproportionately brown, militarizing the border to stop those asylum seekers, saying, as the interviewer mentioned in that clip, I am a nationalist last week or the week before. When you step back for a second and realize that Trump's Jewish son-in-law isn't really the important thing here, you see the big picture. And this is an ex-KKK guy, son of one of the most prominent white nationalists in the country, in the world, explaining how the white nationalists see Trump. And then when you see something like this next clip, you are immediately, if you're a white nationalist, going to say, that is my guy. Remember when Trump did this?
I want to ask you about the Anti-Defamation League, which this week called on you to publicly condemn unequivocally the racism of former KKK Grand Wizard David Duke, who recently said that voting against you at this point would be treason to your heritage. Will you unequivocally condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
Well, just so you understand, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, did he endorse me or what's going on? Because I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacists. And so you're asking me a question that I'm supposed to be talking about people that I know nothing about.
The idea that Trump knew nothing about it is ridiculous. We later found out that he did. But does the question, do you condemn David Duke, really need a clarification 24 hours later? Relevant quote, Andrew Gillum recently said about his opponent, Ron DeSantis in Florida. Now, I'm not calling DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist. And that is what applies here to Donald Trump and to this issue. Richard Spencer has said it. Former KKK people are saying it. It's the reality, folks. If he is perceived as white nationalist or xenophobic or whatever else by those individuals, that's what matters, and he's coalescing and activating them. Am I wrong? Well, let me know. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman, and the show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. I am thrilled to tell you that one of today's sponsors is simplehabit.com/Pakman, where you can go and get a 7-day totally free trial of an app that I use personally and love. I've talked to you before about the benefits of meditation, just simply sitting there, observing what it is that your mind wants to do has been a great thing for me. We have so much evidence growing all the time that this is just a good thing for people to do. And one of the best tools you'll be able to find anywhere online for guiding you through meditation is Simple Habit. It just won the 2018 Google Play Award for Best Well-Being App, a very well-deserved award. They have guided meditations by some of the most respected mindfulness experts from the East and West. You can choose from a huge selection of 5-minute meditations, each designed specifically for where you are or what you're doing or the mood that you're in. They have meditations for falling asleep, for when you're waking up, for your daily commute, when you've just gotten home from work. There are meditations specially crafted to help people deal with anxiety or to get focused before doing something difficult. And Simple Habit lets you keep track of your progress by giving you feedback about how much you're meditating, how many days in a row you've been meditating. It's a really comprehensive and well put together app. Go check it out. You can try it free for 7 days at simplehabit.com/Pakman. I've put a link underneath this video.